Namaskar, dear friends. I am Dr. Pramod Kumar Gupta. I am founder of Indian Teacher Education Community, and we are organizing a program 16 days online short-term course on non-parametric statistics with Dr. D.N. Sansanwal sir. Dr. D.N. Sansanwal sir is a former professor, HOD, and Dean, School of Education, Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, Madhya Pradesh. I am inviting Dr. Sansanwal sir. Welcome, sir. Please.
Dear friends, welcome to the program and good evening to everyone. Now, you know my name is D.N. Sansanwal and this is my email address. It is email.com. So it is not Gmail. So if you have any question to ask, then you can send me the mail or you can ask the question right when the session is on. So during the session, you can ask question and you can ask question even after the session is over, after even the program is over, you can ask question, no problem. I will try to answer. Now, this program is on non-parametric statistics. So, dear friends, today I will try to give you some basics. I know that some of you are the new participants who have joined for the first time, and some of you are the old one who have been attending my program for the last many years. So let me just ask you one question and let us see whether you can answer that question or not. And then I will proceed further. This is the one question. The new participants, please try to answer this question. Old participants can also answer, no problem. So you can answer the question, write the answer in your chat box. I will see, no problem at all. 6 participants have given response. Out of 49, 9 people have given response, 10 have given response, 20 people, 21. I'm very happy, 35, 36 people have given the response, 39 people have given the response, 40 have given the response, 41, 43. Now I have seen your responses. I will give you the correct response and then you can compare your response with the correct response which I will give you. Now I am asking one more question and let us see how many of you are able to answer this question also. Try to answer this question also. And you have to read it carefully that which of the following are not the correct name or names of step of research. So 2 participants have given the response, 6 participants have given response, 14 have given response, 20 people have given response, 25 people have given response, 30 people have given response. So 36 people have given the response. So let me see your responses. So let me give you the correct answer so that you can compare your answers with the correct answer, and then you can decide yourself whether you know the answer or you do not know. Let me first answer the first question first. Here, which of the following are variable or variables? Content of mathematics is a variable. Why? Because there are different topics relative to which the information is given. Male teachers is not a variable. If it would have been gender, then it would have been a variable. Urban teachers is not a variable. If it would have been local or residential background, then it would have been a variable. Hemoglobin is a variable. Female science teacher is not a variable. Anxiety is a variable. Discussion method is not a variable. If in place of this, if it would have been methods of teaching, then that would have been a variable. Achievement in physics is a variable. Government school is not a variable. Types of school is a variable. Teaching experience is a variable. Types of university is a variable. So these are the correct answer of the first question. So you can check your answers and can see whether you know variable or you do not know. Now the second question was, which of the following are not the correct name or names of step of research? The identification of problem is the correct name. Defining the problem is not the correct name. Selecting place for data collection, not the correct name. Thinking about the hypothesis, not the correct name. Collection of data is the correct name. So deciding the time of data collection is not the correct name. Conclusion is the correct name. Selection of problem is not the correct name. Selection of guide is not the correct name. Selection of variable is not the correct name. Selection of the university for doing research is not the correct name. Purchasing research methodology book is not the correct name. So these are the correct answers of this particular question. So now you know whether your answers are correct or not. Let me now start. So my dear friend, I will not tell you what is a research. I will presume you know it. I will not tell you the types of researches because I presume that you know it. What I will do is, I will tell you the steps of research. Now, I will not give you the explanation, but I will just list the names. That first is identification of problem. And in the identification of problem, you have to select the variable. Then you should be able to write the title, and you should be able to write the objective or objectives or either research questions. The second step is the formulation of hypothesis. And the third step is data collection. And in data collection, first you must know about the sample. then you should know about the tool or instrument or you should know about the method of research. And then the fourth is the data analysis. And there are two types. One is the qualitative data, how will you analyze, and the quantitative data, how will you analyze. In this particular program, I will only take the quantitative data and will tell you how to analyze the quantitative data by using different non-parametric statistics. So if you have a qualitative data, then you know you can analyze qualitative data by content analysis. Another is meta-analysis. And another is source analysis. And if you have a quantitative, then you have to use the statistical technique. So today I will be telling you the different statistical technique, the scales of measurement, and I will also introduce you to the SPSS. Now, before I proceed further, then the last step is the conclusion or finding. Now let me start. Now I want to know you that you must be knowing the variables. Can you tell me the types of variable? How many types of variable? Can you name them? Please name the different types of variable. Because I am presuming you know what is a variable. Now I want to know the types of variable. Give the name of the types of variable. Twelve people have given the response. Twenty-three people have given the response. 28 people, 29 people have given the response. 33 people, 37 people, 38, 39 people have given the response. So let me see their responses. So 45 people have given the response. My dear friend, the types of the variable are two types of the variable. One is called continuous variable and another is called discontinuous variable, or you can say discrete variable. These are the two types of the variable which are there in all types of the research. Whether you have qualitative or quantitative, whether you have philosophical, historical, survey, experimental, case study, all these types of the researches, they will be having either your variable is a continuous variable or it is a discrete variable. And when we want to analyze the data, then we must know whether my variable is a continuous variable or is a discrete variable. So continuous variables are those which can be expressed both in whole number as well as fraction. Now, examples. I'm giving you the examples of the continuous variable, say weight. Somebody weight might be 40 kg, somebody weight might be 38.75 kg. Your height. Somebody height might be 3 feet, somebody height might be 3.2 feet. Achievement. Some students might have got 20 out of 20, some might have got 7.5 out of 20 or 7.75 out of 20. Temperature. The temperature may be 32 degree or 32.1, whatever it is. Your stress. Your job satisfaction. Your reaction towards online program. Reasoning. Hemoglobin. Say the area of rooms. Say speed. Speed of car. Say the cost of any item. Rate of interest. You know, some of the bank, they give 6.25, somewhere they give 4%, somewhere it may be whole number or it may be in fraction. Say monthly expenses. Monthly expenses, somewhere monthly expenses might be 20,000 rupees, somewhere might be 20,000 0.50. Although these days 50 paisa we do not count, but nevertheless it can be. So like this, there are so many variables, say time of running. So there are many variables like this, which are always the continuous variable, because they can be expressed both in whole number as well as in fraction. Say reading comprehension. Now, discontinuous variables are those which can be expressed only in whole number. Example. Number of participants. Types of school. Subjects. Gender. Residential background. Types of foods. Caste. Marital status. Number of pages in books. Number of words per line. So like this, there are so many variables which cannot be expressed in fraction. They can be only expressed in whole number. Say number of days in a week will be constant, but working days, somewhere working days might be 5, somewhere working days might be 6, somewhere working days might be 4, etc., etc. Yes, types of university. Types of college. So like this. So therefore, the variables are basically of two types. One is a continuous variable, other is a discrete variable. And these types of variable are in all types of researches. They are in qualitative research as well as quantitative research. These will be in philosophical, historical, survey, experimental, and case study researches also. Now, only in experimental research, the variables are one is called independent variable. Another is called dependent variable. Let me take example. If you have the quality of food and have your health, now changes in the health you can bring the change in the health by changing the quality of the food. So the changes in the health will depend on the quality of food. So therefore, the quality of food will become independent variable and your health will become a dependent variable. Now, if it is monthly income and quality of food, so your monthly income will be the independent variable and your quality of food will be the dependent variable. Now see, in the first example, quality of food is the independent variable, and in the second example, the quality of food is the dependent variable. What is the meaning? The meaning is no variable forever is dependent or independent. It is the situation which will help you to decide whether the variable is dependent or independent. I'll give an example from daily life. You know, some of you at present are not earning. So for everything, you depend on your parents. So your parents are independent and you are dependent. Now, after some time, when your parents retire and you start earning, then your parents will depend on you. So once upon a time, your parents are independent, and after some time, your parents will be dependent. You are dependent, and after some time, you become independent. Now, today you might be independent, but after some years, you will become dependent. So that means I'm closing the point by saying that there is nothing like absolute dependent or absolute independent. The dependent and independent is relative, and it is the situation which will help you to decide which variable is dependent and which variable is independent. And these names will be only and only in experimental research. Why? Because in experimental research, you can change the quality of the food. And by changing the quality of the food, you can see the change in the health. In survey research, you cannot change anything. In philosophical, historical, you cannot change any variable. But in experimental research, it is possible to bring change. Now, if it is a methods of teaching and the understanding of student, now you know methods of teaching will become an independent variable and understanding will become a dependent variable. That means by changing the method of teaching, you can bring corresponding change in the understanding of the student. So the understanding of the student depends on the methods of teaching used by the teacher, but the understanding does not entirely depend on the methods of teaching. There are many other variables, like, for example, previous knowledge. Your concentration, your presence of mind, your listening comprehension, vocabulary, so now there are so many variables which will bring change in the understanding of the student in the presence of methods of teaching. So such type of variables are called intervening variables. So there is another type of variable which is the intervening variable. So intervening variables are those which are in the process and outside the process, but bring change in the dependent variable in the presence of independent variable. Now at present, wherever you are, if there is a noise around you, then it is quite possible that you might miss some of my sentences, and therefore you may not be able to understand the information which I am giving. If you are tired, then because of that tiring, then you may not concentrate, so you may miss. So that means the intervening variables will be of two types. One is intrinsic intervening variables, and another is extrinsic intervening variables. If you are tired, this is the intrinsic intervening variable. Why? Because you are in the process. Wherever you are sitting, if you are uncomfortable, it is intrinsic because you are sitting. If there is a noise, if the temperature is too much, if your fan is making a noise, all these will be extrinsic, means outside the process. And extrinsic intervening variables are also called confounding variables. So your intervening variable will have two types. One is intrinsic intervening variable, other is extrinsic intervening variables. Now there is another type of variable. Right at the moment, all of you do not have the same height. So height is a variable, and you are not understanding according to your height. But height is a variable. It is in the process, but it does not bring change in the dependent variable in the presence of independent variable. This type of variable is called concomitant variable. So concomitant variables are those which are in the process but do not bring change in the dependent variable in the presence of independent variable. For example, your height, your weight, your skin color. Okay, the color of your clothes, the texture of your clothes, all these are variables, but they do not bring change in the dependent variable. So therefore, they are the concomitant variable. Now, height at present is a concomitant variable, but in basketball, it will become the intervening variable. So please understand that one variable may be intervening in one situation, in one research. The same variable may not be intervening in another research. One variable may be independent in one research. The same variable in another research may not be independent. That means all these things will change with research. So you have to be very, very careful in naming the variable, and these names will be only and only if you are conducting an experimental research. If you are not conducting experimental research, then you have not to bother about it, because then your variables are continuous and discontinuous variable. Now, let me tell you that your independent variable is also called treatment. And this treatment is always discontinuous variable. Or discrete variable. Whereas your dependent variable is always continuous variable. Your intervening variable will be both the continuous as well as discontinuous variable. Because some variable might be continuous intervening and some intervening variable might be discontinuous. And your concomitant variables may also be continuous or discontinuous. So please remember that do not every time use the word independent variable and dependent variable. You have to be, and large number of the PhD theses which are uploaded in the Shodh Ganga, they are substandard because the name of the variables given there are technically incorrect. Even in the survey research, in philosophical research, in historical research, in case study research, people have used the word independent variable and dependent variable, which is technically wrong. So please understand this point very clearly. Now we proceed. So what I will do is, I will now tell you the scales of measurement. Can any one of you tell me what are the scales of measurement that you know? Give me the name of the scales of measurement. Yes, majority of you are able to give me the names. The one name is called nominal scale. This is the lowest scale. In the nominal scale, you have to count how many participants are there. You can say there are 60 participants. So you have counted. Subjects, how many subjects? You can count. The types of colleges, you can count. Number of the colleges, you can count. The qualification of the teachers, you can count. How many are PG, how many are PhDs, etc., etc. So some of the information you will have, and it is on the nominal scale. That means you are able to count. And whenever you count, then you can calculate percentage. It is possible to compute percentages, that how many, what percentage of students are studying in government schools, or what percentage of students are studying in central universities. So you can find it out. The percentages. Then you can use chi-squares. You can use chi-square test. You can use sign test. So like this, there are many statistical techniques which can be used for analyzing the data if the data are on the nominal scale. The second scale is the ordinal scale. Ordinal scale means you can arrange the different items, the different handwritings in the sequence. Or you can give ranks, or you can arrange it in some order. If I give you the 10 handwritings, then you can arrange it in some sequence. If there are 3 people, and if all the 3 people are given the photocopy of the same 10 handwritings, then all the experts will arrange it differently. The sequence in which they are arranging the handwritings will change from one expert to another to another. So therefore, you can have the variable whose data will be on the ordinal scale. Now, on one particular rank, there may be more than one handwritings. So that means your ordinal scale can be converted into the nominal scale. But nominal scale data cannot be converted into ordinal scale. It is not possible. So that means lower scale cannot be increased, but the higher scale can always be converted into the lower scale, but vice versa is not possible. So if you have a ordinal scale, then you can use rank difference method of correlation. You can analyze data with the help of Mann-Whitney U-test. Like this, there are many. Then the third one is interval scale. Interval scale has got a reference point. There is a reference point, or you can say non-fixed zero. Non-fixed 0 point, and intervals are of equal length. Now these are the characteristics of the interval scale. Now if you take your normal scale, जिसको फुटा कहते हैं, now in that you may start with 0 or you may start with 1. So the length between 0 and 1 is the same as between 1 and 2, is same between 2 and 3. That means intervals are of equal length. So if you are taking the height of any person, or you are taking the width of any object, then the information will be on the interval scale. If you take your weight using the weighing machine, you may keep 0, your point at the 0, or you may keep the point as 10. And so 10 becomes 0, and then you can ascend, no problem at all. So therefore, the weight is also on the interval scale. Your time of running, you may set your watch at 0, or you may put your watch at 5, no problem. And then you can subtract 5 and try to find out the time which you have taken in covering a 100-meter race or something like that. So there are many variables whose data will be on the interval scale, and interval scale data can be converted into ordinal scale on the basis of the height of the people. You can arrange them in the order. So height is the interval scale data, and when you are arranging in some sequence, in some order, either ascending or descending, then you are converting into the ordinal scale. and it can be further converted into the nominal scale because the same weight may be of more than one person. And the last one is called ratio scale. In the ratio scale, your fixed zero or the fixed reference point and the ratios are equal. Here intervals are equal, here ratios are equal. For example, your age, the reference point is the day you are born, the time you are born. Then your clock starts from there. So there is a fixed 0 point or fixed reference point. And then I can say that your age is half of that your father's age. So I can use half, I can use 3/4, I can use quarter, etc., etc. Okay, now the temperature, you have negative temperature, you have positive temperature. So the temperature is on the interval scale. But you know, there is a Fahrenheit, there is degree centigrade, and there Reaumur. In Reaumur, there is a fixed 0. It's not negative. So like this, some of the variables will have the data on interval scale, and it can be converted into ordinal and nominal scale. Now, the most of the statistical technique, they require very, very strong data. But some of the statistical technique are not very strong. So therefore, they do not require strong data. But these are the scales of measurement that you must know. Now your statistical technique are classified as, they are classified like this. That here is a base and here is non-parametric statistics. तो जितनी भी स्टैटिस्टिकल टेक्निक्स हैं वो दो भागों में बटी हुई है। एक को पैरामेट्रिक स्टैटिस्टिक कहते हैं, दूसरे को नॉन पैरामेट्रिक कहते हैं। तो जैसे बेस में लेता हूं कि किस आधार पर हम इन स्टैटिस्टिकल टेक्निक को पैरामेट्रिक और नॉन पैरामेट्रिक में लगाते हैं। तो पहला है डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, कि जो आपका डेटा है वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कैसा है उसका। अगर नॉर्मल है, अगर नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है तो वहां पे पैरामेट्रिक स्टैटिस्टिक्स लगनी चाहिए। और अगर वो किसी भी तरह का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है any type of distribution, तो वहां पे नॉन पैरामेट्रिक लगनी चाहिए। मैं आपको बता दूं कि जो डेटा का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता है वो कई प्रकार का होता है। लीजिए मैं पहले आपको ये बता देता हूं कि टाइप्स ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। एक होता है जिसको एक्सपोनेंशियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कहते हैं, दूसरे को रेगुलर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कहते हैं, एक को यू डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कहते हैं, एक को नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कहते हैं, एक को काई स्क्वायर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कहते हैं, एक को पॉइजन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कहते हैं, तो ये कई प्रकार के डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होते हैं। तो आपका अगर कोई भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है अदर देन नॉर्मल, आप वहां पे नॉन पैरामेट्रिक स्टैटिस्टिक्स ही लगेगी, पैरामेट्रिक नहीं लगेगी। फिर है स्केल्स ऑफ मेजरमेंट। यहां पे आपका डेटा होना चाहिए इंटरवल स्केल, और रेशियो स्केल। तो डेटा मस्ट बी आइदर on interval scale or ratio scale. Non-parametric में any scale of measurement. Data may be on any scale of measurement. आपका चाहे वो नॉमिनल स्केल है, चाहे ऑर्डिनल है, चाहे इंटरवल है, चाहे रेशियो है। तो आप देख सकते हैं कि पैरामेट्रिक स्टैटिस्टिक्स हैं, उसकी शर्तें काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग हैं। बट द नॉन पैरामेट्रिक स्टैटिस्टिक्स, the assumptions are not very strong. So therefore the parametric statistic is more powerful as compared to the non-parametric statistics. So the another point is power of the test. Power of statistical technique. Or statistical test. It is more powerful and it is less powerful. What is the meaning of power? Power of a test means if the null hypothesis is to be rejected and your statistical technique helps you to reject the hypothesis, the null hypothesis, then that statistical technique is powerful. Another is, if your null hypothesis should not be rejected and your statistical technique helps you not to reject the null hypothesis, then it is called powerful. So now you have understood the power. And now examples of statistical technique. Here is a t-test. Here is correlated t-test. Here is one-way ANOVA. Here is two-way ANOVA. Here is three-way ANOVA. Here is one-way ANCOVA. Here is two-way ANCOVA. Here is three-way ANCOVA. Here is correlation. Here is partial correlation. Here is multiple correlation. Here is regression analysis. Here is factor analysis. Here is canonical correlation. Like this, there are many very strong statistical techniques, and they require the strong data. Another is not very strong but weak statistics, require weak data. So for example, the chi-square test, sign test, Mann-Whitney U test, median test, and there are many non-parametric statistical techniques which have already been listed under the program that you have got it. So there are something like 15 non-parametric statistical techniques which I will be discussing with you. And now non-parametric statistic is also called distribution-free statistics. Why? Because here distribution is any type of distribution. So it is also called non-parametric, is also called distribution-free statistics. So you can say this or distribution-free statistics. Sometimes people can ask a question, do you know another name of non-parametric statistics then you can say it is distribution free statistics. Yes, the electricity failure was the intervening variable. You are very right. But for a short period. So now you know that there are two different classes into which the different non-parametric statistics and parametric statistics have been classified. Now, I will tell you that for each statistical technique, I will tell you these things. For each non-parametric statistical technique, for each non-parametric statistical technique, number one, the title will be written, the variable is selected, then title is written, then objective is written, then hypothesis is formulated, then data are taken and analyzed with the help of non-parametric statistical technique. And here, assumptions of non-parametric statistical technique is also to be given. I will tell these are the assumptions. And then we will interpret the results. After putting results in table. So this is what I will be doing for each and every non-parametric statistical. And now some of you might not have seen SPSS. So let me now show you the SPSS and tell you how the data are to be entered in the SPSS. So now I'm going to show you the SPSS. I'm sure you can see this particular sheet where VAR is written. VAR is the short form of variable. So in one particular column, you have to enter the information of only one variable. So your variable may be a continuous variable, or it may be a discrete variable. But in one column, you cannot enter the information of the two variables. It's only the one variable. So you have to first of all define the variable. And for that, you go to the variable view. Here you can see the variable view. I click it here. Now you can see here it is a name. So I have to write the name of the variable. Let us see. I write one name, say gender. And I enter. Now this is numeric. It is by default. If you click here, you see it is numeric, comma, dot, scientific notation, etc., etc. So here numeric is by default, but if you want to say string, so you can highlight string. But in one column, only one type of the data you should enter. So we normally enter numeric. So it is numeric. It is a width. Width means from here to here. If you want to change, you can change from here. Say here, I have 20. And now I okay. Now you can see here it is 20 has come. So it depends upon whether you have the 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit, 6-digit, how many digits. So you can accordingly from here, you can decrease or you can increase the width, no problem. But by default, it is 8. Similarly, you can decrease or increase the decimal. By default, it is 2. Because in social sciences, your data can be only up to 2 decimal. But in pure sciences, it can be 3 decimal, 4 decimal, because there the instruments which they use are very, very sensitive. And now, since gender is a discontinuous variable, so how many labels? There are 2 labels. If I put 2, then I put values. I say 1 means male and 2 means female. And then I okay. So 1 and 2 are the code. Like your roll number in the examination was a code. Your Aadhaar number is a code. Your mobile number is a code. Your house number is a code. Your bank account number is a code. So all these are codes. So if it is a discontinuous variable, you have to write like this. Now another is achievement. Now achievement is a continuous variable. So you can just enter and finish. Now, if you want to have types of school, so if I say types and then space, then of, then school. And if I will enter, then you see here message is variable name contains an illegal character. That means I cannot write types, then space, I cannot give the space, I have to put dot, then of, then dot, and school. If I enter now, it's all right. If you want, you do not want to use dot, you can use underscore, or you can write just one word. Types of school as one word. It is up to you. Now there are if you have three types of school, then you have to say one means government school, two means aided school, and three means private school. So like this, you have to first of all go to the variable view and define the variable. If you want to have another is reading comprehension, so you say reading dot, it is a continuous variable, so you need not to write anything and you can just enter. So if you have 10 variables, then you need 10 columns. If you have two variables, you need only two columns. Now you go to the data view. Now all these 5 names are here. You can see, you can enter the name of the variables in any sequence you like. I have entered like this, you can enter in any way you like. Now it is up to you that you want to first enter the information of the first person about his gender to the female. The achievement is at 28 marks. Type of school is government school, and reading comprehension is 32. So you can enter the data of each and every person like this. Or you can first enter the data of the gender first, then achievement, then types of school, then reading comprehension. Or you may enter the data of the types of school first, then gender, then achievement. In any sequence, it does not make a difference. So I can enter the data like this. Now, if I have to enter the data of the achievement, I can enter it like this. So I have entered, suppose this is extra, so I can clear it. Now I can enter the data of the types of school. Say this is in the aided school, this is in the private, this is in the government, aided, private, private, government. So like this, I can enter the data of the types of school. Now you have to enter the data of the reading comprehension. So like this, you can enter the data. This is how the data must be entered. I hope you have understood how to enter the data. So I will close it here, and tomorrow I will take the one statistical technique which is already mentioned in the schedule that has been given to you. I will take that. If possible, you have a time, then you can read about that technique and then you come prepared so that you start understanding. Okay? So thank you very much. So any question you want to ask, you can ask me the question right now. Or if you want to ask tomorrow, you can ask me tomorrow, no problem. The choice is yours. Any question, any participant like to ask? Okay, so see you tomorrow. Good night. Have a sound sleep.